We're going to be talking a little bit about the news going on. We're going to talk a little bit about the rhetoric floating online and a little bit about what's going on with the Trump administration. But we're going to wait for some people to go ahead and join in here. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing some things over here while we wait for some people to join in. But we've been having lots of good debates the last 2 days or so hopefully we can try to get some more people in here. Morning, Kindred. Let's wait for some people to join in here. In the meantime, I'm going to be looking some things up. Can't hear you? Hold on. Hello? Kindred, can you hear me? Kindred. Hello? Testing? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, you can hear me. Whatever reason Kindred can't hear me, that's on Kindred's end. That's not on my end. That's Kindred's fault. Yeah, you had your Bluetooth connected. You made me restart just for nothing. Who do we have in here this morning? Just 3 people? Who's the third person? What was your Bluetooth even connected to in the first place? I'm just gonna wait for some more people to join before I say too much. Because this is getting weird. Your earbuds. Florida court says 18-year-olds have the same gun rights as other adults. Another win for Florida gun laws. So an 18-year-old does have the same gun rights. It's not just that you don't just have to be 21 years old to conceal carry or own a pistol. Well, we got 37 people in here. I've been to Europe, man. I've been to hella places in Europe. Where do you want me to come in Europe? Ronnie, where do you want me to go? Good morning, Ronnie. Get the likes way up there. We got 60 people in here. Let me know where everyone's coming from today. Drop some likes, some comments. Let me know what city, what country, where you guys coming from today. What's up, Robert? Good morning, good morning. We got 63 people in here. Can we get the likes up to 63? You can at least like and subscribe. It's free. Trump humiliated Prime Minister Modi? I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how he did that. No, Trump, the inflation, we barely have any inflation. All we do is have a healthy level of inflation. Ice Valley, if you want to test that theory, we can see who's smarter, your Somali head ass IQ or me. Let's have a good debate, brother. I'd love to. Modi looks innocent, but he's a what? Democrat approval rating is below 20%. I don't want to hear nothing about Trump's approval rating. I don't want to hear nothing about Trump's approval rating. Florida court strike down under 21 concealed carry ban. Yeah. Why would I be brave for even trying to live stream with this, brother? We already know the majority of the country still supports Donald J. Trump. Are you talking genocide? What genocide is going on, brother? What genocide? Where is there a genocide? You mean the genocide in Nigeria? That's a genocide. There's only two genocides happening right now. Sudan and Nigeria, not Gaza. Gaza's not a genocide, brother. So unless you're talking about one of those genocides, there's no genocides happening in this country. Hey, what's up, Coffin Crook? Long time no see, brother. Good morning. I hope you're doing well as well, man. Long time no see. Long time no see. Shout out Germany. Who else do we got in here? What cities, what countries? Yeah, $300 billion to Iran and the whole deal I posted. None of it's coming from America. You can check out the details about the deal. I posted that about 10 days ago, 11 days ago. Almost 2 weeks ago now. And almost all the details are right. And it's almost about 2 weeks old. And I posted all the correct details about the $300 billion deal. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does then. Well, the UK is a laughing stock of the world. Us Americans are laughing at the UK because y'all allowed a bunch of illegal alien criminal aliens to flood in your country and literally take over. It's destroyed your country. You are the poster. The United Kingdom is the poster child for why mass illegal alien immigration doesn't work. Y'all are the poster child. Y'all are the absolute poster child. American housing prices are cooked. You want to know something funny? We're ranked in the top 10 most affordable housing prices compared to salary in the world. So comparatively to our salaries, our housing prices are actually relatively one of the cheapest ones in the world. Which I do agree with you that overall our prices have gone up a lot in the last 40 years. 40 years specifically. Shout out Indonesia. We got people in Indonesia watching. As an American, we laugh at Europe because you guys don't even have a military to protect your own country. That's why we think you're a joke. If Russia comes and fucks with you, you're done. You're toast. Are you even a sovereign nation if you're in Europe? Because another country can just take you if they want. NATO is America. NATO is America. We are Australia, Korean. Well, I'm from the UK and would love to go to America and teach those woke folks what's coming to America. Brother, they know what's coming to America. They want it to come to America. They want all that filth and that trash to come to America. This guy thinks it's all fun and games, but I really do think the majority of the woke leftists in Europe are losers. That's proven it time and time again. We debated all you guys from Europe last year, and it didn't end well for you. I thought you guys were supposed to have a better education system. I was severely let down by that when I found out that blatant lie that Europe has a better education system was wrong. Listen, if you don't know the details about the $300 billion peace deal, then that's going to be on you. You got to go watch the video on it. And at this point, no one's even going to believe you if you come on here talking about I'm scared to debate you. Likely, you're probably just not even worth my time. If you haven't gone through the vetting process and you've known me for 6 months and you haven't debated me, you're likely not even worth my time. Because there's a clear vetting process. I've debated people with 400,000 subscribers before. People know I'm not scared of a debate or going on a talk show. That's a fact about Euro and travel. Yeah, we do stand with Israel. Israel doesn't control shit. A state-funded healthcare system's horrible, brother. It's ineffective. You can literally look at any country in the world, even the ones that do have a state-funded healthcare system, it's literally just better to get private healthcare. But it does lower the overall prices, but it makes up the tax. The taxes go through the roof. What's up, Tom? What are you guys saying in chats now, huh? Yeah, we support Israel. Hate from Georgia, the country of Georgia, or the state of Georgia? If it's the state of Georgia, I'm laughing so funny. Y'all are such liberal leftists. Germany better show some respect to America because you remember World War II, don't you? MAGA zombies. The only one that's a zombie is literally freaking all the Democrats out here supporting all these SSRIs, all these transgender surgeries, all this LGBTQ stuff. Those are the individuals that are zombies because those are the people that are taking the drugs daily and they're zombied out of their mind. Convert from 3 bowl Democrat Party will not save your soul, but condemn it? Yeah. Liberal wimps are the minorities of the USA. God bless the Electoral College. God bless J.D. Vance. Literally, the Democrats went from having a 10-point landslide in the midterm to a 2-point. You went from 10 points to 8 points to 6 points to 4 points, and now there's only a prediction of about a 2-point lead in the Democrat Party for the House of Representatives in the midterms. We are set to win the Senate. We are going to win the Senate. I'm 100% sure about that. And we are getting the gap closer and closer and closer in the midterms for everyone else. But we got 237 people in here. Can we get the likes way up there? Can we at least get to 200 likes, chat? 200 likes. Make sure you guys subscribe as well. And also, we got a Discord link. I'll go ahead and send the Discord if you guys want to call in and debate. Or if you just drop a $50 super chat, we can get some of you guys calling in and debating this morning. But we will go ahead and send the Discord because you can join the Discord for free. You just have to be vetted, and we can let you call in. That's the fantastic part about the whole system. No, actually, the Romans killed Jesus, but you would actually have to know a little bit about history. I mean, when you say the Jews killed Jesus, that's just like the most anti-Semitic thing you could possibly say. Because first off, it ain't even the Jews; it's just a specific group of Jews, which is the Pharisees. Second off, you're just saying that to try to make the Jews look bad. Third off, uh, the Jews are not even technically the ones that actually slain Jesus. That was the Romans. And you guys do not give any heat to the Romans at all for what they did to Jesus, which is crazy. So yeah, I have problems with that on multiple levels. Trump's already going to be president in 2028, brother. There doesn't need to be another election. But Trump ended 10 wars. This 47-year-old war with Iran just got ended. Though I don't know if it's going to stay. I don't know if the ceasefire is going to, stay. I don't know if the peace deal is going to stay. What I can say is I hope it does. It looks like it might if Israel, is checked in its place. See, Israel is actually controlled by Donald J. Trump. That's why a lot of the Israeli people are very angry at Trump and some of his supporters. But it is what it is. Romans killed them, made them a corrupted version of Christianity, and we call Catholicism. Yeah. Guys, can you please not spam this morning? Can you please not spam this morning, chat? I love y'all as well, man. Get those likes way, way, way up there. Way, way up there. What do I think of Muslims? I think there's a serious problem in Christianity where we're just allowing these Muslims just to walk right over us. If we don't stop these radical Islamists now, we're going to see a repeat in history. We are going to see a repeat in history. Unless you want a Crusades Part 2, I suggest we don't let all these illegal alien immigrants pour into our country. I suggest we don't allow that to happen. Radical Islamists gotta go home. A lot of them cannot assimilate to our society. Every Muslim that follows the Quran and actually believes what's inside of it is a radical. Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely, yes. But can we get to 100 likes? We almost got 300 people in here, y'all. You cannot be racist towards a Muslim, because Muslim is not a race. Muslim is a religion. Do I believe in LGBTQ? No. That's like an organization. That's like a big organization. Assimilation does not equal bullying. Assimilation equals respecting our cultures and our values. And if you Democrats and you radical leftists can't even understand that these third worlders can't even figure out how to use a knife and a fork, then there's a serious fucking problem. Muhammad was a homosexual taking it in the butt from many black men getting his superpowers, quote unquote. Yes, there's a large amount of people that are the radical left. I thank God that most of our country is conservative and not just like Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk unalivers. But there are a lot of radical leftists in our country. And it's our time to stand up. It's the midterms. We're not going to let these people just, take over our country. We fought hard in 2024 for that win in that election against those Democrats. We fought hard back then. We're not just going to give up 2 years of effort, 2 years of work just to let the midterms go to the Democrats. No, we got to get that. We got to get out there in numbers and vote. Everybody get out there and vote as much as you can during the midterms. I know it's just the midterms, but we got to secure our spots in the primaries and the midterms here, okay? It's that simple. What about ICE? ICE is doing their job. Mass deportations. ICE catches more rapists and criminals than any other policing organization in the world. ICE did a pretty good job. Renee Good and Alex Preddy, they were criminals. They were bad, they were domestic terrorists. I guess that's what you would call them. Same thing as Abrego Garcia. He was a domestic terrorist. Now, we might have been wrong about him being a human trafficker, but he definitely is all those other things as well. Yes, people are illegal on conquered land. Yes, people are illegal on conquered land. And to say otherwise would be delusional. To say otherwise would be completely delusional. We already know about the $300 billion. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. Go watch the video on it. Since you're so hyper obsessed about it, we're already ahead of the curve. We're already ahead of the curve. What do I gotta be kidding you about? Did Trump do a better job with immigration than Obama? I would say yes, because he almost deported around the same as Obama has so far. And he didn't let as many people in as Obama. He didn't let so many Muslims in as Barack Hussein Obama did. Or radicals. Trump banned a bunch of countries from entering. Obama deported a lot of people, but then he replaced them with a bunch of other third worlders. So really, what does that even do? Really, what does that even do for a country? Why would you want to F the Epstein president? Who's the Epstein president? Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton is the Epstein president? He's the first president that ever did any Clinstein? You want to call him Clinstein? Bill Clinstein is the Epstein president? That's crazy, my guy. Big Mike likes Muslims since he is a man and Muslims like men. I mean, we were talking about this last night with the Turkish guy. There's a history of homosexuality in the country of Turkey, unfortunately. Imagine you're a Muslim nation and you have nothing but they have a long history, but they have a history of freaking homosexuality. I already know that you're slow as fuck, brother. You follow Nick Fuentes. You follow Nick Fuentes. Not only are you slow as fuck, you're down bad as fuck. Anyone that follows Nick Fuentes is down bad, bro. Anyone is down bad. If you see America First in people's bios nowadays and you find out they're a Catholic, oh, they're down bad, bro. They're down bad. It's crazy. Can't even pay their phone bills a lot of the time. But we're at 32 likes. Yo, can we get at least the 300 likes? We got 309 people in here. Can we at least get the 309 likes? And if you guys got some questions, comments, drop some super chats. Nothing is wrong with supporting Israel. Israel does not receive any money from AIPAC. Israel does not receive any money from AIPAC. And AIPAC does not receive any money from Israel. So we will show both ways. What is wrong with Israel, guys? Why would we vote out AIPAC? Where is my Fatam Islam? To scared of an American vet, I will speak poorly of your false prophet. Oh, God. Get the likes way, way up. The monster drinks are getting to you? I haven't been drinking any monster. I haven't even been drinking any energy drinks, really. Yeah, bro, he's riding it. Riding Nick Fuentes' D. That's what you're riding. I can see it clear as day. But if you guys want to debate, join the Discord. The amount of rising anti-Semitism in our communities is honestly disgusting. Pure fucking disgusting. No monster, it's all about Nas. This is a Nas positive channel. Yeah. I would absolutely debate Nick. How can I debate Nick Fuentes? He would get wrecked about Israel. He knows nothing about Israel. I'm not an Islamic phobia, but even imagine Islamophobia is a rational fear, because if Islam does 80% of the global terror attacks, is it not rational to have a fear of Islam? Is that literally not rational? If they commit 87% of global terror attacks, is that not a rationalized fear? You know, I almost feel like pulling out the photo of the Palestinian co-creator with Adolf Hitler, because the guy that his name was Muhammad al-Husseini, and he was best friends with Adolf Hitler. And that's really the type of bullshit y'all look up to nowadays. But I honestly do understand the rise of people like Nick Fuentes. The rise of people like Nick Fuentes is literally all because of the fact that under Biden, rent prices went up to about, they went up about 40, 50, 60% according to statistics, which I believe. The prices went from about $1,000 a month to $1,500 a month. So I can completely understand how y'all would be crying your eyes out saying the economy's over, the housing market is destroyed, the economy is collapsing, Gen Z is fucked. But y'all are just being too soft right now. You're just being too soft, acting like there's not a way to make yourself into what you want to be in life as a young man. Drop your email right fucking now. My email's in my bio, brother. You can go click on my email and email me if you want. But make sure everyone out there subscribes. Oh, so now a National Zionist is a Nazi. That's nice. The rise of the Fuentes girl is based on poor historical knowledge, lies, and gullibleness, and also probably just people being in bad shape a lot of the times in their life. I'm not trying to sound like a Nick Fuentes simp or anything, but I can completely understand why a Generation Z would want to blame all the boomers and all the Jews for everything that's happened. Because really, how can you blame it on anything else? When you really sit back and think about it, how can you blame it on anything else? Because You're not actually, as a Nick Fuentes supporter, you're not gonna be thinking, about the facts of anything, really. You're not going to be thinking about how Biden actually destroyed the economy with his inflation. He's the one that made rent prices go from $1,000 to $1,600. But none of y'all even care about that. Joe Biden's the one that made steaks go from $12 to $15 to $30. None of y'all really thought about that, huh? And way before then, our salaries were starting to separate from the housing prices. Housing prices were going way up, way, way, way up, and salaries were staying the same. So, and that was for way before Biden. But really, what killed the final separation between wages and housing prices was the Biden administration. But we have to have some kind of accountability at the same time. We can't just let these Nick Fuentes people run amok. It's still possible if you work hard to afford what you need in life and what you need for your family. What is not true? Wait, where is rent so cheap at $1,600? California, like nearly $4,000 for a two-bedroom, but that's California. We're talking about Florida right now. Florida went from having $1,000 rent to having a $1,600 rent. That was all during the Biden administration. So I can completely understand. Y'all are blaming the boomers, but really you're looking at Biden and thinking he's the king of boomers. So that's why you would blame the boomers because Biden's a boomer. But no, it ain't the boomers' fault. Actually, a lot of boomers are out here trying to help the younger generation, especially the ones that really care. Nick Fuentes is a closeted homosexual. Your takes are L as fuck. How are my takes L as fuck, brother? Please give a little bit more detail than that. Don't just come on here and tell me my takes are L as fuck. I'm giving you the facts, man. What do you want me to tell you? It's not your fault and you don't need to take accountability? No, you need to take accountability and you need to fix it. Oh, this guy says I pay $2,500 to live by the beach in California. Fuck out of here with this $4,000. Keep licking those boots. You sound like you rode the short bus. I'm getting that $4,000 price directly from a California resident, brother. I'm getting that $4,000 price directly from a California resident. So go cry about it. But if you think $2,500 is some good deal, then I don't know what to tell you. Especially for a long-term rental. And I kind of doubt you're even in that kind of good area. You're probably in a rent-controlled zone in California, likely. Likely. Yeah. He's probably in rent control. Let's be honest. There's plenty of areas in California that are rent control. The only one that needs help is you fucking mental Democrats out there that think that there's more than two genders. That is disgusting. That is fucked up. A transgender woman cannot go into a woman's bathroom. That's a man. That's a man. But drop some big super chats. Show some love. I appreciate those gifts. MAGA does rule the world. MAGA absolutely rules the world. Are you kidding me? Ain't even a question. Listen, economy is booming. Trump ended 10 wars. Everything is going fantastic. All we need you to do is join the Discord and debate about it. Because we gained 172,000 jobs in May. The GDP is way up. GDP per capita is way up. Stock market is almost up 40% since Donald J. Trump got into office. S&P 500 almost up 40% since Donald J. Trump got into office. I mean, do I have to keep telling y'all the facts? $4,372, a two-bedroom San Jose, California apartment off Basim Avenue. Yes, 40%. 60% of Americans own stocks. 60% of them. If we got 40% if we got a 40% rise in wealth for 60% of Americans, America's getting rich. Trump wasn't lying. Americans are making money hand over fist. The economy's booming. Everyone's loving on Donald J. Trump, and the lazy losers are complaining. The lazy losers are complaining. You see, the stock market is not the economy, but then when I tell you 174,000 new jobs last month, you have nothing to say. The Democrats always have nothing to say about Trump's great job numbers. But whenever there's one bad month where we lose 20,000 jobs, you sit there and complain. That is crazy. Anarchism, communism, socialism, that's all for the lazy loser. Most of y'all aren't even intelligent enough to even know what socialism is in the first place. And the funny thing is, the majority of people that don't know what socialism or communism are actually the people that are supposed to be quote unquote educated. Why all about socialism and capitalism and communism? I mean, it's crazy. In socialism, there is no such thing as private ownership. That's another thing y'all got to get out of your heads. Norway, Finland, Sweden, they are not socialist. Socialism is like Venezuela, ex-Yugoslavia, Soviet Union. That is like socialism. Not like free, open, fair markets is not socialism. No, socialism does not have a private ownership class. I mean, they have personal ownership, like you can own a toothbrush, you can own stuff like that, but you can't own a business. Any businesses you own, any businesses you own in a socialist system are taken by the government or taken by the collective. He even pulled up the address in Santa Clara, California for the prices. Who is Bowman TV? So are all Muslims bad or not? Probably not. No, the ones that don't believe and follow in the Quran, they're not too bad. You can join that Discord to debate me for free. There's a vetting process that might take a while, or you can literally just join in. By dropping a $50 super chat. As soon as I see a $50 super chat, I'll get you in the call. We can debate about the economy. We can debate about Donald J. Trump. But Trump is doing a fantastic job, I believe. Y'all really like that Russian girl, even though all she had on here was her voice. That's crazy, man. Communism and socialism, more or less, are pretty much, the same animal. What is this guy saying about socialism? He says, socialism is a gateway to the leftist man bun philosophy, leading the breadlines, tight pants with the stretch of a parallel in the line. Yeah, that's terrible, man. That's a man bun ideology. That's a man bun ideology. I mean, I get why Jimmy Snow's a socialist because he is a man bun. But if you don't have a man bun, why the hell are you socialist? I'll check my email later. I don't check it that often. But if you keep spamming, I'll time you out. All right, you're spamming. I'm timing you out. Diddy-crats! I'm trying to see if y'all are saying of anything of meaning. Not really. Not really. What about any Nick Fuentes supporters in here? Do we have any Nick Fuentes supporters in here this morning? Just so I can light up a cigarette and use you as an ashtray. If you have a man bun, you have way too much estrogen. Yeah, I agree. Way too much estrogen. If y'all hadn't had cheated in 2020, Trump would have been gone by now. I'm with you, F. Wenties. Need your coffee and your French toast? Nobody stands with freaking Nick Fuentes. I'm glad to see that all the Groypers are destroyed now. Their ideology has been destroyed because you can no longer say that Trump is controlled by Benjamin Netanyahu. Now it's the other way around. Now you say Benjamin Netanyahu is controlled by Trump. Trump deserves a third term. 2020 was stolen. No, I love to see what America has become. I just don't like you liberal crybabies in America. I don't think we're the same. That's not nice. Let's call ICE. Come and try to make me sit down with Charlie Kirk. I'll make you sit down with George Floyd. You won't be able to breathe anymore from all the working out and death threats that y'all are sending towards me. Y'all won't be able to breathe anymore. You have to join Mr. Floyd. What do you think Turncoat Tucker Carlson is gonna say now? He's already been saying lots of shit. There is no genocide. What genocide do I support? I don't support the genocide going on in Nigeria. Death threats and pages straight to the FBI, straight printed out. I stand with definitely not Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a drug addict, likely. The chances are high. I'm not saying it 100%, but the chances are high. Racist? I ain't racist. Wow, was $6 a gallon yesterday here in California. Now some places are all the way down to $4.79. Wow, that is crazy. Democrats are going to be really angry then, I guess, about the cheap gas. I guess that means California, and the rest of the world is going to get cheap gas again and they're going to get pissed. As soon as gas goes back down, people are just going to completely forget about the quote unquote gas prices. It's really convenient. When gas prices hit about $2, Democrats all of a sudden forget to complain about them. Completely. Completely. It's ridiculous. But if we have anyone in here like Kindred or Time that can easily send the Discord link, that would be fantastic. Yes, click that Discord link that Kindred sent right there. I'm repenting every day. Barrel down 2% now already, and the market just opened. Join that Discord link that Kindred sent, and let's debate. Especially if you're a trans woman that thinks you can go into a woman's bathroom. Or maybe you just got some brain worms. We have more people right now that are working than we've ever had in American history. YouTube is trying to show you something so you get properly educated, but you're just so Democrat driven, we can't get to you. Hear us out. Hear us out. Hear us out, guys. Why would you want to support the Democrats after all the fraud they allowed in this country? Of them allowing all this stealing from Somalis, stealing millions and millions and billions of dollars, to all this other corruption that the Democrats allow. Why would you want that? Ain't no trolling, ain't none of that stuff. Send the Discord link one more time, Kindred, and then I want everyone to look for Kindred's name and click on it and join that Discord because I keep seeing you guys saying that you guys have not joined the Discord yet. So let's go ahead and give you the opportunity to do so. When you join, you're going to want to go to the chat and say, hello, I'm here. There's the link. There's the link. Everyone click on Kindred's link. Kindred's link, guys. So we can debate. So we can debate. Join the Discord link. We have a great debate community. It's not all just MAGA. It's a lot of Democrats. It's a lot of leftists too. But please come in there and show some respect. Don't come in there acting like an asshole. Here we go. Here's something interesting. Employment among workers without college degrees fell by 361,000. Now that's actually interesting because people with bachelor's degrees nowadays, people with bachelor's degrees and people without bachelor's degrees have the same unemployment rate. You must be 18 and plus and vetted to join our Discord and to debate in our community. AI will take some jobs, but AI is set to create more jobs than it's going to take, according to the World Economic Forum. By 2030, they're going to take 96 million jobs, and also by 2030, they're going to create 180 million jobs. I would love to take an IQ test. I would bet money any single Democrat that wants to take an IQ test against me will lose. I will bet any single Democrat money that if we take an IQ test, you will lose against me. Does anyone want to test it? Does anyone want to test it? We can take any kind of intelligence test you Democrats want. You will lose against me in every single metric. It doesn't matter if we take the SATs. It doesn't matter if we take the IQ test. It doesn't matter if we lift weights. It doesn't matter if we have a running competition. Democrats are going to get beat by me. They don't stand a chance. They really don't. Democrats are not even competitive. Trump won the popular vote for a reason, because Democrats aren't competitive and because he's the best president of the United States. Who rigged the election? Who are you talking about rigged the election? Whenever Trump wins, it's rigged. But whenever we have proof that the Democrats rigged their election, then no, it's not rigged. Thank you, Demur Shootout. Shout you out, brother. Thank you for that super chat. If anyone else has any questions or comments, they can go ahead and drop some super chats and let me know what's going on. I figured I'd go ahead and let some more light in here. It will not be a blue wave. It's heading more and more towards a red wave. Democrats are going to lose the Senate no matter what, so y'all are pretty much done and over with. I mean, if y'all got any new news to tell me, Juneteenth is not a real holiday, by the way. That shit is just bullshit. Is Juneteenth today? When is Juneteenth exactly? Because Juneteenth is not a real holiday. No, I'm being serious. What kind of holiday is Juneteenth? Average Bass Pro Shop dudes. Oh, it's on the 19th. Oh, that's great. Black Lives MAGA. It's Veterans Month, brother. Join that link for the Discord that Kindred's sending. I don't know when the hell a black holiday that's imaginary is literally supposed to be. They should add Donald J. Trump to Mount Rushmore. Hell, they should add a statue of Trump in Washington, D.C. That would be fantastic. Yep, $300 billion to Israel in 76 years, and in 2 years, Israel gave us $200 billion. Aren't we winning? What did I say that was racist? I said nothing. I said Juneteenth is not a real holiday. Holiday or not? Military Appreciation Month followed by White Heritage Month, then Air Force Month, Marine Month, Army Month, Navy Month, Veterans Month. You know, the groups that accomplish stuff, not just the people that do each other in the rear end and they're proud of it. Not just those people, you know. I don't care for LGBTQ. Do what you want. Just stay away from the kids. Don't be disgusting around kids. That's all I gotta say. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Trump was not still hanging around Epstein. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not a veteran myself, so no, I do not have a DD 214. I'm not a veteran, brother. I'm just saying happy Veterans Month to the rest of the veterans in the chat. Yes, join that Discord link with Kindred right there. We got one guy in here. Maybe we can go ahead and just join in with this guy and see if we can get him to debate for the last. We only got about 10 minutes left, but maybe we can have him debate about something. That Philo guy, he's been vetted before, hasn't he? Yeah, he's been vetted. So I'll go ahead and join this VC. Oh, hold on. I gotta completely mute my computer before I can get him in here. Well, we'll do a quick little morning debate if he's in here. Hello? I'm on stream. Hello?
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You were the guy that was more left leaning.
Yes.
You're from California?
I am not from California. I'm from Canada.
Oh, from Canada. You're from Canada
Yes.
then. What do you think about like the assisted suicide programs in Canada? Do you think that that's a net positive for society?
Um, like hold on, I've got your stream going on here, so I just got to mute that real quick. When it comes to assisted death in like medically assisted aid and death, I'm generally supportive. Like there are points when people are like in horrific pain for terminal illnesses. And at that point, you're just waiting months for them in pain to die. And I think like medically assisted aid in death at that point is a more dignified end. Though if it's stuff for like mental health issues or like severe depression, I think every other medical intervention should be tried beforehand. And I typically frown upon it in those cases.
Well, if you're a Christian and you kill yourself, that's one of the seven deadly sins and you won't be forgiven for it. So,
Okay, I'm not a Christian.
yeah, what about everyone else that's a Christian? That's from
For them to
Canadian.
decide.
What about the Christian history in Canada? And we all know that people were already being unalived on what is it called, hospice and medical care. They have the same thing in America for elderly people that are dying, but we all know this isn't the same thing. This is for people that are
There was
18,
controversy a while
18,
back
19,
about a
and
nurse who
20.
was doing it unauthorized, and she was prosecuted and put in jail for it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 100% ways things like this could be abused, but it's all about trying to manage that and improve the system, really.
So you think every country should have a legal suicide machine and they should have legal suicide?
Like, that's up to them. I'm generally supportive of it because, I knew a person who was terminally ill with cancer and they were in pain. and they were just going to be in pain for months until they died. They elected to do medically assisted suicide, and that was way better than putting their family through misery for months until they eventually died. They got to go out on their own terms, and it was a much more dignified end than eventually succumbing to their disease.
That is something tough to think about, but as far as that, I don't have too much to say about that. I'm just gonna, go ahead and say basically suicide is against Christianity. But and the other part of it, that's obviously bad. If regardless of your religion, that's obviously bad if you're 18 and 19 years old and you choose to take your own life. But what do you think about the mass migration in Canada? Like, what do you think about the economy going into a recession after some of the biggest migration moves in Canadian history?
A lot of our GDP was actually being grown through immigration, but that was sort of like an empty GDP growth. It was basically just more people equals, more consumption and stuff like that. And so it led to a decrease in GDP per capita, but it did increase the GDP. Uh,
GDP doesn't help you. GDP doesn't benefit the quality of living for the individuals in your economy overall. So what does that have to do with
yeah,
anything?
it's a pretty crude estimate of economic growth.
Well,
Like,
obviously, if you're in a
GDP per
recession
capita,
now, obviously if you're in a recession now, immigration is not helping your GDP.
we're not in a recession right now. Typically, it's defined as 2 quarters of negative economic growth
Yeah. Then
or
why did I hear in the
economic
news?
contraction. We've only had one, and in the last quarter, we saw growth. So,
Why did I hear in the news that Canada's in a recession?
what news do you
It
watch?
says right here, AI overview. Canada's economy slipped into a technical recession in the first quarter of 2026, driven by a surprise contraction of the economy by a 0.2% decline in late 2025. And also another, it is 2 quarters of declining GDP.
Did I miss that?
Yes, your
Or
GDP declined at the end of 2025, and your GDP declined in the first quarter of 2026.
Mhm,
So now you're going on to your third quarter of declining GDP growth.
mhm.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I haven't been paying as my own country's politics as much as I should.
It even says Canada's recession authority says it's too early, I guess, or too soon to say what's going to happen. Oh, here we go. The Canada's recession authority says it's too soon to declare a recession. It doesn't matter. You can't say it's too soon because you just gave the definition. I know you're not, but the government's trying to act like they're not in a recession. If the definition is one thing and it meets the definition, then it's in a recession. I mean, if it has to just have two negative quarters of GDP shrinkage, then it qualifies then. But what do you think in general about the mass migration of Indians and Pakistanians into Canada? You don't have a problem with that? You don't think that destroys your long ancestral heritage and culture? Even though these people
No.
are not assimilating to your culture, because obviously, if they're going into a fancy restaurant eating with their hands like they do in India, it's not going to
Yeah.
be it's not going to be a very pleasant sight.
Like, I knew two Indian guys in university. They were pretty much the frat boy type. If they weren't brown, you wouldn't be able to tell.
They probably come
Like, they
from a
were
lot.
any different from the rest of
They
us.
probably they
It,
probably
it only
no.
takes one generation, and they're Canadians. Simple as
One
that.
generation, so basically it doesn't take anything.
Yeah.
All they have to do is move there and live there for one day and they're Canadians.
Yeah, they grow up in
That
Canadian
that is a
schools. They consume
ridiculous
Canadian media. They
that is a
participate in
ridiculous
Canadian
thing.
holidays. They go to
Um,
Canadian
do
parties.
they?
Yeah, they speak the language. They speak it fluently. They speak it without
Not
an
if they
accent.
came not if they came over here when they were 28 years old.
Yeah, that's why I said it takes a generation.
Okay, okay. So basically
It's
second generation then.
if,
You're not talking about
yeah, if you
first
were born and
generation.
grown here, you seem pretty Canadian, pretty much.
I disagree. When I see a bl-
You assimilate pretty
when
well.
I see a person wearing a turban and a turban, I do not think Canadian. I think Indian culture. They have nothing to do with Canadian culture whatsoever. Maybe they'll celebrate a Canadian holiday, sure, but They don't. They're not Canadian to me. Just like if you go, just like if I go, I've lived in 3 other countries. I'm not Spanish. I'm not Montenegrin. I'm not Georgian. But I've lived in all these places for multiple years. So just living on the land doesn't make you one of them. And having a passport doesn't even make you one of them. It makes you have their nationality, but you'll never have their ethnic, cultural identity.
Like cultures change. Like
But you have a
some of
culture
you have to
already.
accept that,
It's not Canadian culture if it changes. Just like if you go into a French
of course it's
culture.
Canadian culture.
No, if you go into French culture,
Change.
if you go into French culture and start giving a bunch of Indian food and saying this is the new French culture, it doesn't mean it's French culture. That would be Indian culture brought into French. That would
Would you
be
say that
mixing the culture.
republicanism is a part of French culture?
No, republicanism is nothing to do with culture. It's a political spectrum.
Well, people have put a lot of pride in their civic system. They put a lot
Okay,
of faith
sure, but
and
that's
pride in
nothing
the
to do with their
republic.
culture. I mean, sure, but
Okay,
that's nothing to do with their
it,
culture.
it has everything to do with their culture. The French Revolution was such a dramatic change in French culture, from being one of the most conservative and monarchical countries in Europe to a proud republic. It fundamentally changed the character of the
Well,
nation.
if you're talking about changing your government type, sure, that has something to do with their culture. But if you're just saying in
Yeah,
general, no.
and like Americans, you guys are very
Re-
proud of your republic.
being a
Like it's
Republican is
sort of
not
the
a
heart of the
culture.
American soul, your belief in your constitution and the rule
Do
of
you
law.
understand the difference
And
between nationality and ethnic identity?
yeah,
Okay, so then they're never going to be Canadian. Those Indians born in Canada, they're never going to be
well,
Canadian
that
because
depends. Is your nation defined by ethnicity or is it defined by other things, like a general
well, you
participation in
can't
the
just be
broader
whatever you
culture?
want.
Or maybe you
I
have a
explained it to you
specifically
already.
defined ethnicity.
Participating in a culture or country doesn't make you Canadian. Just like I'm not Spanish, I'm not Montenegrin, and I'm not Georgian, even though I've lived in all of these countries and I've participated in their cultural events.
How do we define what a Canadian is?
Someone that was
If a
born
can
and raised and that's ethnically Canadian is Canadian.
Well, we can just drop the ethnic part of that definition and
If an
just stick to
Indian person
Canadian.
was born in
The
if
ethnic, like there are different countries that are defined not by their ethnicity. Canada is not a country that is defined by its ethnicity.
yes, it is. Every country is defined by its
No, it's
ethnicity.
no, they're not. They're
Yes, it is.
absolutely not.
Even America is defined by its
Switzerland is not a
ethnicity.
country that is defined by its ethnicity.
Yes, it
Switzerland is
is. I've
explicitly
been to
as a
Switzerland
country defined in
before.
multiple ethnicities.
Yes, but it has
The French
specific
Italian.
ethnicities. Yes, I've been to Switzerland. Have you? It's mostly the
Yes,
German
I
and the
have.
French. It's mostly the Germans and the French. So yes, that's an
It
ethnicity
is
that
defined.
yes, it's
Yeah,
defined
it's
by an
defined
ethnicity. It's once again defined by an ethnicity. Every
not by a
country,
single ethnicity, but
it
a
doesn't have
union
to
of
that
ethnicities.
they merged and made their own ethnicity.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Not
culture.
once did I say every
Ethnicity
country has
reflects
one
the broader
ethnicity.
culture.
It's still defined by ethnicity. This is a stupid argument.
No, it's
Indians are
not.
not Canadian.
It's not. It's
Indians are not
explicitly
Canadian.
not.
They have a Canadian passport, they have a Canadian nationality, but they're
Okay,
second
let me ask you
generation
a question here.
immigrants.
Let's say Canada has a very big Ukrainian population, right? They're ethnically Ukrainian,
They're not Canadian.
but they're not Canadian.
No.
They've been here since
Doesn't
like the
matter.
19th century. They've been
Doesn't
here from the
matter.
1880s. It, okay,
1880s?
I just
Okay,
have to call it out. That is the dumbest
if their
fucking
family
argument
has
I've ever heard.
if their family has been here since the 1880s, sure, but I thought you were referring to Ukrainian immigrants.
Yeah, like if a Ukrainian immigrant comes
No,
here, like
they're
say,
not Canadian. No, sorry, they're an
it's very
immigrant.
different from the people
They're an
here in the
immigrant
1980s.
because
That makes sense.
they don't have a historical they don't have any historical ties to their land. Their family's not from the land. They weren't born in Canada. They're not Canadian. How are they
So they
Canadian?
would have
Am
to
I
come
Spanish?
here in
Wait.
the
Am I
1930s.
Spanish? Answer the
So if an
question.
alien comes
I lived in
in the
Spain for
1930s,
2 years. Am I
future
Spanish?
generations, are they
Am
Canadian?
I Spanish? Am I Spanish? I lived in Spain for 2 years. Am I Spanish? Why or why not?
Do you do you participate in Spanish culture? Do you
Yes.
work there? Do you speak
Yes, I did. Yeah,
language?
go
Do you
ahead.
identify
Yes.
as part of
Yes.
Spanish citizenship?
Yes. No, I don't have citizenship. You don't need citizenship to be there.
Okay.
You said anyone that lives there can be Canadian. You never said they need a citizenship. Do they need a citizenship now? Is that one of the qualifications?
Typically.
Well, that's a nationality. That's not an identity. That's not an ethnic identity. That's a nationality.
Nationality is an identity.
A nationality is not an ethnic identity. It's not the same thing. Just because you have 10 passports, just because you have a Japanese passport doesn't make you Japanese. You'll never be Japanese. Just because you have an English passport does not mean you're English. You'll never be English. I mean, how much simpler do I have to make this for you?
Like,
You have no identity that you're trying to protect. That's why you don't care if invaders come into your country, even though we know for a fact that illegal alien immigrants are a net negative for a country.
The things I typically care about in Canada are our political institutions and our civic culture, right? Like, I believe in a lot of the things.
Thank you, Prayer of the Dawn YouTube. I appreciate that. Dayon, thank you for that super chat.
Like, I realized a long time ago that, cultures change, languages change.
No, there are cultures deserve to be protected and preserved. Do they not? Are you telling me cultures don't? You don't believe in protecting and preserving cultures like they have been protected and preserved for thousands of years? You just want to blur. You just want to blur all cultural identity. That's exactly what you're doing. You're exactly what the New World Order. You're exactly what the World Economic Forums want. You're exactly what the European Union wants. You're trying to blur cultural lines. You're trying to make everyone brown so no one has any cultural identity anymore. It's horrible. You're basically the destruction of society. You're rotting away at the culture itself. No, yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. How do you think we feel? You're telling people around the world that mass migration is okay, even though we've seen it destroy multiple countries right in front of us. Look at the United Kingdom.
Look at Canada.
Yes, you're in a recession. Look at Canada. Your economy's doing the worst it's done in 40 years. Look at Canada. Your money is worthless. Look at Canada, where you can't even go to Toronto, nothing but brown people. And it smells like feet and curry. It just smells like feet and curry all downtown, everywhere in Toronto. The white man is gone.
By a shift in Canada's population growth. In recent years, strong levels of population growth driven by immigration have buoyed Canada's economy, allowing it to grow in total even while per person GDP declines.
No, this isn't per capita GDP.
By immigration for the past few years. Like, I don't expect.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Okay, can the average Canadian afford a house? Can the average Canadian afford a house? Can the average Canadian afford a house? Can a wealthy Canadian afford a house? Can a wealthy Canadian afford a house?
To come to the country to try and help to build it.
Do you think the young generation can afford houses? Do you think the Canadian economy? You are lying. You are lying about the Canadian economy. The youth in Canada is crushed. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're lying about the Canadian economy, brother. You know it's in shambles. Every young person in Canada is complaining that the economy is in shambles.
Countries are destroyed by immigration when the United States and Canada and all set.
Yes, our country was hurt by immigration. Yes, illegal alien immigration destroys countries. Mass migration destroys countries. Yes.
Mass migration, of the Germans and the Italians.
That wasn't mass migration. That wasn't mass migration.
That was mass migration. You guys saw stupendous population growth within that period.
It took years. It was a slow trickle in. 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 It was a slow trickle in, and those people assimilated. Yes, it was. It was not 20 million people in 1 year. Are you going to talk, or are you just going to talk? Are you going to let me talk, or are you just going to talk over me because you don't want to be
talking over me this entire time?
Let me try and make a point. Because you don't have any points to make, because you're wrong. Illegal alien immigrants cost our country $451 billion a year. Yes, they do. I have a source. I have a source. We benefit from legal immigrants, not illegal alien criminal bastards. You are
benefit from illegal immigration.
No, we do not. I have